Hello and welcome back to more Geometry Dash. You read the title right, Grief should not get rated. Now if you haven't heard of Grief by now, you've clearly been living under a rock, but just in case, Grief is an upcoming top 1 that Doggy has been trying to verify for over a year now. And it's going to be the most significant verification of the year, maybe the decade. It's going to be absolutely massive. But here's the catch, Doggy has been verifying this with CBF. If you don't know what that is, you've been living under the people living under the rock. But again, just in case, CBF stands for Click Between Frames, a mod which allows you to click between frames. This is significant because with the release of 2.2, RobTop's grand unified physics shenanigans meant that everyone's physics was locked to 240 Hz, which made top level play significantly more difficult than before, where people were able to utilize 360 Hz. And so over 1.3 million people, including Doggy, use CBF simply because it allows your inputs to be more precise. So where's the issue? CBF seems to just be an improvement of the base game. Yeah, RobTop doesn't endorse the use of CBF, which means that Doggy is using a third-party modification not allowed by the creator of the game in order to make it easier to verify Grief, easier than it ever could be in vanilla Geometry Dash, which means that he is cheating. Kind of. Cheating is fundamentally tied to dishonesty, yet Doggy is very transparent with his use of CBF, so it's not cheating in the Space UK sense. Doggy is not trying to gain our respect in a deceitful manner, but it is still cheating, even though it isn't a very powerful cheat. Doggy is still extremely talented and Grief is still absurdly difficult, just slightly less so than it otherwise would be. Now what Doggy and many others were hoping was that RobTop would allow or add CBF to the game. But it's been a year since then, and I don't think either will ever happen. He literally unrated Psychopath because it was verified with CBF. And RobTop doesn't really strike me as the kind of person to allow mods like this to be used in the game, given that he intentionally locked everyone's physics to 240. He also doesn't seem like the kind of guy to implement CBF's code into the actual game. You got to remember, we're talking about the guy who has been the sole developer of GD for over a decade now, and I get the impression that he is quite proud of GD being all his own work, and also he wants to know the code inside out, so I don't think he'd implement something he didn't create. And also, he'd probably have to pay Sizzy, which, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a very RobTop thing to do. And so, with those two facts, CBF is cheating and RobTop will never allow or add it, I don't think Grief should get rated. RobTop cannot rate a cheated verification, regardless of the scale of the cheating, because the only requirement everyone can agree on for a level to be rated is that it's legitimately verified. And that's just the core principle that RobTop has to stick to. And we, as a community, should not pull in AOG and try and pressure RobTop into rating it, because the only reason people want to see Grief rated is so that it can be placed on the Demonlist, so that it can be top 1, and so that the level and Doggy and all of the creators involved can get the recognition they deserve and cement their place in Geometry Dash history. That's the real reason people want Grief rated. It's not like Doggy is an unknown player, it's not like Ice Cave is an unknown creator, and I honestly don't think the people who are going to beat Grief care if they get an extra 10 stars and 500 orbs. So what we should instead do is look to get the Demonlist to change. I know a while back they did a poll on whether unrated levels should be allowed on the list, and I don't know what the results of the poll were, but I think they should just allow it either way. If people know that the rating system is broken and have complained about it for years, then why on earth are only rated levels allowed on the list? Well, it's kind of obvious. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not the Demonlist, but I imagine it's a form of quality control to prevent the Demonlist looking like... And technically, unrated levels cannot be demons, so technically if they were added to the list, they would no longer strictly be a demon list. But if we ditch the requirement for a level to be rated, then we avoid many issues that currently plague the demon list. The unnecessary month-long gaps between levels being verified and then rated and subsequently placed, levels that get rated years later and don't get the recognition they deserve, and levels that are just never placed. There's literally an entire unrated demon list with 143 levels harder than Rust, and some of them are kind of,
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
There are many levels on here which certainly should be rated and on the list which aren't, and will thus receive much less attention than worse levels on the list, like AOD. The way I see it, there are a few ways that Demonlist can go about implementing this change. The first solution is to allow any legitimately verified level. This would mean that the list would suddenly get a lot harder and would be filled with levels that kind of just look bad. I mean, Zoink verified Quantu's processing. I wouldn't put it past them to verify the world's ugliest top 50, just for fun. And I think allowing anything to be on the list is almost disrespectful towards those who put a lot of effort into the levels they make. The second solution is to get the Demonlist mod to decide which levels are rate-worthy. This is, I believe, how the global Demonlist works, and is a better solution unless you're a Demonlist mod. Because now, instead of attacking RobTop when they want Thinking Space 3 to be put at number 0 on the list, people attack the Demonlist mods instead. The third solution is to just have different lists. There can be a strictly rate-only list, there can be a free-for-all list, and then there can be a rate-worthy list. And yes, you could then ask which list is the true list, but honestly, there isn't really a solution that'll make everyone happy, so this is probably the closest you can get to appeasing everyone, because everyone has a different opinion of what should be on the list or what's rate-worthy or what's cheating, so even knows at this point, who's even watching this video? So yeah, those are just my thoughts on what will happen when grief is verified. Of course, CBF being implemented into the main game is the ideal solution, but I think the Demonlist allowing good unrated levels is the most realistic solution. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I feel like these are very divisive topics, so of course I'd like to know what you think, and other than that, good luck to Doggy with verifying grief. Thank you so much for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.